Maybe it was the cold. But after a few steps, Renado's optimism started to slump. What if Calaveras couldn't help? Did Renado dare use the Sky Ripper? Oh, he hated that he had chosen this path. It was so much simpler to rescue friends and attack enemies, even if some of those friends were more trouble than his enemies. Some of those enemies had been friends before and might be lovers after. No, okay, it wasn't all that much simpler, no. Physics made his brain hurt. That, at least, he was sure of. He'd once met a pirate captain who used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
Why would anyone put his slinky collection in a strongbox, thought Renado. Were they magic slinkies? Oh, and there was something else.
Tried to focus on the now. The ravens who seemed everywhere all the time. Where did they hatch from? Were there giant raven hatcheries somewhere, or did they have families? Ooh, he didn't want to think about raven mummies raising their darling raven chicks. Yeah, Calaveras would help. He would make Renado feel better about using the Sky Ripper. And then Renado wouldn't have to worry about ravens ever again. The worst thing about ravens was they never dropped any loot, and no one ever wanted the feathers. Rosebud, he said to no one in particular as he died. Don't look down, he told himself. Don't look down. Sometimes, Renata really hated inanimate objects. I wonder what happens if I go that way. These were no ordinary cannonballs. For one thing, ordinary cannonballs were black. To everything, there is a season. He turned over and died. Renato felt a little better. Give me a lever, said Archimedes, and I shall open a gate. Renato had been focusing all his energies on the Sky Ripper. If Calaveras could not fix it, he'd be out of options. He would have to assault the Imperial fleet empty-handed. He felt like Tarzan. Calaveras had never let him down.
Yeah, of course I can make it work better.
But when Renato explained about the strings, Calaveras grew thoughtful.
Oh, strings, you say? Well, the Arcana do speak of the ties that bind the world.
He drew many intricate symbols in the dirt.
Yeah, so, according to my calculations, each time you fire, I'm afraid there's a 1 in 128 chance you'll destroy the universe.
That's pretty good odds. That's like rolling, what, 21 dice and they all come up 6. What are the odds of that?
What? No! It's more like 2.716s in a row.
Anyway, with those odds, it won't happen if I use it just once.
What? No. That's so not right. Each time you use it... Okay, look. Just don't use it ever. At all, okay?
All right, I guess. As he sailed away from the mountains, Renato could see clouds darkening. Rain? No. Ships. Imperial ships, swarming thick as bees. This was it. The big battle. They could not afford to lose this one. What if it did not go well? What if he had to use the Sky Ripper? Could he gamble the universe? On the other hand, what were the odds of rolling 21 sixes in a row? The battle was not going spectacularly well. What had the rebels been thinking? They'd been thinking he would bring the Sky Ripper, or the Iblis Stone, or that he'd sideline Zenobia somehow, or turn her. Couldn't he use the Sky Ripper just once? After all, if chances were 1 in 128, that meant he'd for sure be okay the first time. They'd get worse each time he used it, but the first time would be okay, right? He wasn't sure that it was right. So he didn't fire the Sky Ripper. He just brought it along, in case. what's behind door number 2? Renato had a feeling that was the back door to something. But what? Don't look down, he thought. Someone had told him the odds didn't change just because you'd had a streak of good luck. His gut told him that was wrong, though. And he always listened to his gut. On the other hand, 128 chances to win. But one of them, he'd destroy the universe. That seemed a bit serious. Maybe he could defeat the Emperor without firing the Sky River. Maybe he could bluff, but with a real weapon. Like in cars, when you had 3 names, but you pretended you had a fizz-bin. That could work. Well, you should see the other guy. Renato had always wanted a flying carpet. This was more like a flying tabletop, but it would do.
He set up the Sky Ripper and let it warm up. He would bluff if he had to. Zenobia came out, flanked by a very daunting platoon of ravens. "You won't actually use that," she said in that annoying, "I know everything because I'm a cat and you know nothing because you're just a fox" voice she had. Or "I know the odds." Good, because there's a real chance you could destroy the universe. No, not the first time I use it. The odds are too low. What? No? Yeah, sure. The first time, the odds are practically nothing. They only go up if I use it a bunch more times. No, but that's not how odds work. Didn't you pay attention in class? Now surrender, or I'll use it. Just once, he said. Don't.
He felt sure the odds were with him. He had to go with his gut. That's what heroes do. "Fire," he said. "Please?" The Sky Ripper fired. With a tremendous whoosh, the Emperor's flagship went up in flames. It was awesome. And then he noticed there was a hole in the air. A blackness, like a tear in a parchment. Wind was blowing into it, widening it. It grew larger, and even larger. Crates fell upwards into it, and the world itself seemed bent, like the reflection on a curved mirror, as it poured into the ravenous hole. 1 in 128. What are the odds? Thought Renato, and then everything fell into the hole and was gone. And just like that, he was alive again, and back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future, when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he'd learned another true thing. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly. But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the path of destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens? Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway. That was odd. Renato had been here, at this exact place, at this exact time. But this time, there were so many more ravens. Renato had tried everything. Zenobia had loved him to death. The Sky Ripper had destroyed everything. The Iblis Stone had corrupted everyone who held it. He'd never put much faith in Lapino. But Lapino was all he had left. Renato had been to a dungeon once where all the chests had teeth and eyes. It had been a short visit. Ooh, wouldn't his gauntlet look swell with that jewel in it? He hadn't noticed that path before. He could learn new skills, if only he'd take the time to figure out which. Nice. That could be useful. The sword felt even colder.
to traitors! Caught the ravens. Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to? Renato felt a chill run down his back. Or possibly a flea. This chest was filled with reprints of the entire Sandman series. Reprints? What was the point of collecting those? Ooh, and there was something else. Smashing things was fun. Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power. Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's best friend in Sword Fu school. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. The rabbit had a point, and Renato had a feeling she'd want to see him again. Who knows what could happen between the two of them this time around? She knows all his plans, chuckled the master spy. She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lupino. Taking her would change the game, all right.
The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Renato had been the terror of the sandcastles when he was two.
Begyűjtötted ezt a játékot? Nagyon menci.
You guys ever wonder why the Imperial Ravens are always hiring?
Az hiba, hogy nem aktiváltad, mert rohadt jó, meglepően jó. Gondoltam volna, hogy ezt adják így. Az a lényege, hogy nagyjából 1 óra alatt végig tudod játszani. Egyszer a sztorit. És utána előről kezdheted egy alternatív szálon. Más döntésekkel. Ugye először a végül.
He was sort of yanking his own chain.
Ha ezzel a szállal végző, ez meg a 4. Elég érdekes narratívája van. Meglepően tartalmas. Plusz gyorsan bele lehet tanulni. Szintén nem hátrány. Egyszerű az irányítás is. Vagy egyszer volt csak egy durva bug, amikor tegnap beragadtam egy helyre. És nincs ilyen, hogy checkpointot folytatás, úgyhogy persze úgy van checkpoint, van az. Ezt az opciót kihagyták a menüből, hogy valaki esetleg beragad egy checkpointot. Meg a harcrendszer is nagyon jó, meg az irányít. Egy valami nem tetszik, hogy mindig lezárják utána így a pályát, hogy nem igazán lehet, hogy ha kifelejtesz egy részt, nem mehetsz vissza. Vagy ha csak körül tudsz nézni, elég lineáris, ahogyha azt néz. Lezárgatják, de kell lehet erre-arra pórul. És az Unreal Engine.
You couldn't go sticking jewels in your gauntlet just anywhere. What if you dropped one and broke it? Luckily, there was a bench right here.
Négyféle kardod van, ezekkel lehet. Hát... rengeteg csinálni, ez helyettesít gyakorlatilag az inventorit. Tovább lehet valaki nyit alternatív vonalakat, gyógyítani tudna. Persze harcolni.
There was a pleasant breeze coming through that door. Had it been closed before?
De mindegy, mert állták az újra kideljük. Azt hiszem. A kontroller erősen ajánlott hozzá, a billentyűzettel ki sem mertem próbálni. Az elején nagyon zavart, hogy nem lehet visszamenni, ha elmulasztasz valamit, de végül is úgy újra kell játszani pályákat. Úgyhogy nagyjából utána odafigyelsz, akkor már van, amit kihagytál.
What exactly was Lupino up to this time? You could see the wheels spinning inside his head.
Ja, lejjebb halkítom akkor.
Made Renato dizzy,
most
in
elvileg
fact.
jobb. Halkabb. A narrátort hallani, mert te amúgy tök...
Renato had once invested in a jewel store, but it lost money because someone kept robbing it. Twist, it was him.
Na, erről beszélek. Hát megint arra jöttem már az előtt. Szóval a lopakodós részek is nagyon jól
Who are you looking at? All right, no one.
Egyszerű, de mégis jól ki van találva.
Bye bye, life, he thought. Hello, emptiness.
Akkor jó, tökéletesen eltaláltam. Nem tudom miért, de ez valamilyen Nintendo játékot juttat eszembe. Kicsit olyan, mint egy ilyen Zelda vagy. Nem mint a sokat Zeldáztam. De annál meg jobban tetszik mondjuk. Meg ez is tök jó, hogy mindenféle állatok vannak benne. Nem emberi karakterek. Azok tiszta bénák. Ezt most elcsesztem. Nem vehetek vissza. Nem vettem fel a ládát.
So,
De megvan a nyúl.
what's this plan of yours?
Nézd meg milyen jól van
Use me as
megrajzolva.
bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renardo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renardo.
Jajjaj. Múltkor elfogadtam a tervét, úgyhogy most a másikat fog.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sure you know better, said Lupino.
Remélem ezzel nem cseszem a szállat. Itt biztos, hogy nem voltam, mert ezt a kardot szereztem meg utoljára. Oda megyünk. Én alternatív út. Igazából csak loot van nagyjából, meg egy-két ilyen sztori.
I should follow my nose, thought Renardo.
Elég szál vagy kiegészítés. Lehet, hogy elmenne amúgy Androidon, meg szerintem az Unreal Engine 4 ez van ezért is mobilra. De szar lenne az irányítás, illetve hát kontrollerrel nem. Hát ja, amúgy ez bármilyen kézi konzolon jól elmenne.
Sparkly, thought Renardo.
Ja, itt van például ez egy alternatív darabka lesz. Zenobbiának írogat az apja ilyen leveleket. Tehát itt megtalálni. Ja, és ez egy macska, akinek az apja egy béka. Pixeles Dungeon Crawler az a... Nálad játszottunk? Nem tudom. Nem ugrik be a neved. Valami dupla vés volt, nem? Ó, szóval adoptált? Aha. Ez sok mindent meg... Be akarja áldozni, hogy erőt. Viszont az béka. Vagy valami V betűs. Ezzel a zűt karddal tudok gyógyítani.
to die first?
Ez elég OP ez a fagyasztás. Még mindig nem jöttem rá, hogy a harckillek egész pontosan hogy működnek. Abban nem is tudom, hogy abban volt abban online co-op, csak lokál.
Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She became smoke. And he noticed he had a blade to his throat. Stay a while, purred a familiar voice. Did you really think you could capture me? Zenobia said as her ship lifted off. Now I just wanted some privacy, Renato said. Renato knew she still had feelings for him. Maybe he could just cut to the chase. But was timing right for that?
Ez a választás még nem is jó.
I know how you feel about me, baby. I know you want to be with me, Renato said. What? The Emperor's evil, babe. I'm nice. Remember how nice I was back in school? You were an idiot in school. You said I was funny, said Renato, starting not to like how the conversation was going. The Emperor pulled me out of an alley. Don't tell me he's evil. Yeah, but did you ever wonder why? No, I didn't. Why don't you ask him? Well, because I know why. He wants to sacrifice you. You can tell him that when he interrogates you. Can't we just start this over? But Zenobia shut him in the hold of the ship. He had no one to explain anything to until he was brought to the Emperor's interrogators. After that, it was just screaming. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
Igen. Erre nem számított. Hát úgy néz ki, a róka nem pöcögtetheti a cicát.
The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Eddig nem sikerült megpöcögtetni, de dolgozom rajta. De érdemes megint bemenni?
Chill out.
És érdemes, mert kell még 8 ilyen pötty. Hogy az utolsó kardot is felupgrade-eljen maxra. Jó, bagosak ezek a vázák és elvágók mellett.
The city was burning, and there was no one to put out the fires.
If somehow Zenobia survived her father and inherited his crown, what sort of empire would she be heir to? But he couldn't think about that, could he?
Van egy skill papunk. Mire is akartam rakni? Nem emlékszem. Szerintem ide. Vagy várjál, nem? Nagyon belassult a fejlődés, az elején sokkal jöttek. Ez nem tetsz. Elég sok haszontalannak. Ezt az eldobást nem is használtam már egy.
Cool.
Ez, mert ezt mindenképp.
Wish I could do that.
Hát ha egy kis sebzést lehoztok. Te vagy a béna, te csöves geci. Nem találnád el sose a vágyra. Ezért most átdodgyolok rajta. Nem is rossz. Ennek a játéknak a legjobb a harcrendszere. Jól van megcsinálva, mert egyszerűen nem kell megvárni az animációk végét. Dinamikus az egész. Meg a blokkolás az nagyjából 99%-ban megszakít minden. Nézd meg ezt, ide állsz egy ilyenhez. Láttad ezt?
Where was a workbench when you needed one? Oh, never mind.
Gondolom ismered az X-et és nyersz. Jó harca. Nem. Nem feltétlenül. A bal analogot is kell tekergetni hozzá.
Hero wall, hero sword, firewall, fire extinguisher.
De itt voltam már, de ez nem baj. Vagy nem volt? Basztam.
A gem of power. Oh, you didn't find those every day.
Még magasabb lett a critical chance. Azt sem tudom, hogy ilyenkor most a workbenchnél ezt meg kell upgrade-elni, vagy ez már így hozzákerült.
What exactly was Lupino up to this time? You could see the wheels spinning inside his head. They made Renato dizzy, in fact.
Nem értem itt. Miért nem lehet itt átmenni? Az előbb át lehetett volna. És átmehet. Egyszerű egyébként, egyszerű harcrendszer, nem arról van szó.
Renato, smash!
Pont ezért jó. Olyan idióta kretén, mint a Dark Souls játékokban, hogy teljes vértezetbe gurulgatnak az emberek. Visz ez a teleport, sose próbáltam. Szóval ezt kellett volna már először is használni. Ó, egy új gép. Igazán jól ki van találva, hogy ahogy újra és újra játszod a pályákat, egyre több apróságot fedezel fel.
What's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon.
What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato.
Most ezt választjuk, és utána majd a másiknál a másodikra.
I'm sure you know better, said Lupino.
Nem tűnik rossznak. Hát...
The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted. The right jewel could really give you an edge. The wrong, well, it still looked pretty, didn't it?
Nem tudom eldönteni, egyőre hagyom el.
This chest was really awesome. See what I did there?
A kard nagyon durva. Ha lefagyott, azt együttéssel szét lehet törni. Ezt kombinálnám azzal a másik energiatöltő gemmel. Az elég szigorú lenne.
Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all.
Egy visszatérő utalhamban a free játékot mutatva. Pont ezen gondolkoztam én is, letöltöttem. Volt egy csomó 4 ingyenes játék, valami bundle-ből. Szerintem még meg is van, mármint hogy még le is lehet tölteni. Nem tudom, 10-valahány játék van, és az első 4-et ingyen le lehet szedni. De nem kapod meg Steamre, csak magát a játékot bárként letöltheted.
Maybe he could just cut to the chase. But was timing right for that?
Jó, akkor maradjunk a tervnél.
Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? And he told her why. His Imperial Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him immortal. But to seal the bargain, He needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. You're lying. She was furious. You can't prove that. I can. And so, they set sail for the Nexus.
Na, most nem haltunk meg. Ez is valami. Igen, egyébként ilyen, de akkor ilyen első látásra bemutatót csinálnék, hogy felrakom a játékot, egyből elindítom a streamet, és megnézem, hogy érdemes azzal foglalkozni. Nem tűnt, egyébként 4-ből 3-at szedtem le, mert mind a 3 egész élhetőnek tűnt. Egy ez nagyon gáznak tűnt.
But it can talk, and it can't lie. You took a big risk. You know, I could just cast a spell to make you tell me where the rebel base is. And you wouldn't consider that cheating? She frowned. Ugh, fine. Let's go get your witness. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
Itt érződik a
Imagine if you
budget
built a house on one of these things.
fejlesztés.
Oh, that would be amazing. It would be like having a boat.
A többi karakter csak egy helybe áldogál, nem követnek. Jó irányba jött? Egy, nem tudok visszamenni.
Brilliant. Lovely. Hold that pose.
Ez mit remegettek? Resistance gun. Oh. Jó feljöttem. Hello, hello. Mi nem tűnt olcsónak? Kapcsolok egy villany. Ja, arra mondtam, hogy budget, hogy a karakterek nem követnek, megállnak a pálya elején, hogyha valamiért úgymond jönnek veled, akkor a pálya elején várnak, amíg te úgymond takarítasz, és akkor oda teleportálnak majd hozzád. Erre értettem. Megint nem tudom, hogy jó fele megyek-e. Mi volt az a teleportot? Kellett volna mozogni? Be fogok lépni valahova és lezárják mögött a mozog. Most már a kristályoktól is félek, míg amit a tegnap beragadtam egybe. És alá a pályába. Nem biztonságosak. Rettegéssel töltik meg az életem. Mondjuk az a havas pályámmal. Hova vezet a teleport? Tudom, hogy hova vezet. Nem merek bele. Nem kell itt, hogy hát. Nem tudom. Elmegyek. Nem emlékszem, hogy a múltkor mikor itt voltam már. Az utolsó pillanatban állítok, van egy ilyen skillem, hogy akkor megáll az idő. Erről meg a Ratchet & Clank jut eszembe. Rengeteg dobozt tudjuk összetörni.
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you want to join in? Oh, no, I'd destroy his books and... All right, I suppose I wouldn't. She stopped, troubled. He ran on.
Ja, lehet nem működött az aktív követés. Nem is okoz rettegést a szénhidrát, csak neked, mert rettegsz a szénhidráttól. A szénhidrát bánt. De én csak jó szénhidrátot fogyasztok, így nem kell tőle félnem. Hogy eljön értem. És magával visz. Vagy ha magával is visz, csak jó helyekre. Például, hogy már forró vizes műzlit ettem. Ó. Ez nem tűnik egyszerű, ne? Igen, és most? Hello, 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 hello.
Take a leap of faith, said the inscription.
Ez is tök jó, ilyen kis mini játékok. egy helybe kell állni és néha megnyomni a gombot. Kivéve a túl izgulod. Én túl szoktam.
Oh, what does the fox say?
Nincs szévrestől.
Another one called back. Go, go, dying! And they both laughed hysterically.
Az igen, combat report után még maradtak ellenfelek. Egyre súlyosbodik a helyzet. Ilyet se láttam még. El lehet-e menni erre? Nem mi? Nézzük. Mi fúj? A forró vizes műzli? Nem volt egyszerű, nem volt egyszerű, de megcsináltam. Nem, bocsánat, ma már hidegvizes műzlit tettem, ó, az már új szín. Hideg vizet öntöttem rá, úgy hagytam egy 40 percig, de egyébként nagyon rossz, először le kell inni róla a vizet. Ez az első trükk. Ha leiszod róla a vizet, akkor a maradék már tök jó lesz. Főleg a víz ízéhez viszonyítva.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared around, shocked. The scientists had been neutral. They had no part in the rebellion. Take me to your council, she said, shaken.
Na most meggyőztük.
I have things to tell them. It was what Renato had gambled on. The Zenobia would turn against her father once she knew his madness. But the rebel base was secret. Could he really risk taking the Emperor's daughter there, even if she did love him?
Megbízhatunk vajon benne? Nem bízok benne. A nőkben nem szabad megbízni.
Renato reached Lapino by Farspeaker Toad.
No, we should take her to the base,
Insisted Lapino. No, I don't trust her. Nobody changes sides that fast, said Renato.
I better go to the base.
Let them know you've got her, Lapino said. Just meet me at the far side of the mountains. There's a shuttle here I can take.
Always has to be your way, doesn't it?
Said Lapino.
Az egész 1%-os tej is gáz, annak semmi köze a tejhez. Már milyen értelemben gáz?
Zenobia was still shaking as they got out. I didn't know, she said. The Ravens kept it secret. At first they sacrificed prisoners, then villages near the frontier, and then an orphanage. Kittens and puppies. Sometimes
He'd come back to the palace and it was like there were glowing things behind his eyes. But I was so busy. I'll clear a path for us, Renato told Zenobia, so the ravens don't see you.
Ooh, a workbench. Did he have any jewels he hadn't tried out?
Ooh.
He had.
Ooh. Mondjuk, ha visszajött, azzal lennéd a... Csodát. Annyira szar felbontású ez a monitor, hogy nem tudom elolvasni. Az utolsó azot nem bírom kivenni. Cornflakes akar lenni, vagy mi a fene? Olyat soha nem ettem.
Renato wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Nekem nincs semmi bajom a tejjel, csak most nem akarok üres kalóriákat fogyasztani, azért nem eszek tejet egy ideje. De én tökéletesen meg tudom emészteni a tejet, meg ilyesmi. Cornflakes, ja, nem eszek cornflakes-et soha, az még rosszabb.
That had gone rather well, actually.
Most megint nem tudom, merre menjek. Erre kéne, vagy a másik irányba? Megnézem, mi a csikból. De nem lehet visszamenni. Nem nézem. Kalandra feles, ahogy az zöld kard az előbb beszél. Nem tudom, mi a gond. Én csak hadonászni szokott.
What would happen if he jumped? Would he be rescued by an emergency platform?
Szerintem nem voltam még. Hiszem. Ja, az ami a finn kezére tekeredett? Ezt nem is vettem észre, hogy olyan volt.
Zenobia came up as he massaged his sore arm. Her eyes were wet. He's been saying strange things. He asked me to do experiments, and some were wrong.
They are banished, right? Said Renato. Gone forever. I mean, he couldn't actually bring the old gods back, could he? She didn't answer him. That frightened him more than anything.
Ja, itt teleportálgatnak. Cskák. Ó, ezzel is össze lehet törni.
Hey, do old ravens go grey? You know what? Don't worry about it.
Néha elkezdenek remegni. Hoppa, erre mi van? Kedvem lenne mazsolát enni. Jó, bázd meg, rossz irányba mentem, ott volt benne a lila kapu. Jó. Nem lehet már visszamenni. Ez egy csapda volt. De én felkészült voltam. Aha, most már sokkal jobb lett az egész játék, így hogy még sokkal jobb lett, hogy ennyi skilltalanul voltam, mert...
It's a birdsicle!
Így sokkal jobb élvezetesebb a játék. Lesz még egy valami. Elmen. Akkor ezt köszöntem. Ó, itt ragadtam be a múltkor valahol. Yeah, vagy nem? Odébb? Nem itt.
Oh, they really ought to put a railing on this thing, he thought.
Nem itt. De ezektől is félek. Ragadtam volna? Vagy még odébb.
He needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak.
Már voltam vagy 3-szor. Szerintem még nincs meg a lázor, vagy az utolsó kardot felbrédeljem.
See?
Amúgy itt nagyon hülye
With enough
voltam.
leverage, you could go anywhere.
Ezt egyszerűen csak visszacsukod és kész. Nem kell aggódni, hogy eltalál hátulra. Itt mindig meghalok. Kevesebb HP-val kezdek. Nem szép volt.
Stay frosty.
Még egy achievement. Jelzi vajon azt? Nem. Nem.
Or I could go that way, he thought. Renato wondered if he should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secrets, he was regretting his suspicion.
Itt ragadtam be. Gyógyítókard is ugyanennyit tud, csak igazából arra annyi értelme van átváltani, hogy gyógyítod magad. Utána visszaváltasz, mert harcolni ugyanolyan vele. Szóval maga a suhintás nem gyógyít, vagy ilyesmi. Fejlesztő. Ez elég hasznos. De olyan lassan fog fejlődni. Még egy achievement. Minden. De a befebben van egy csomó. Minek?
They came up on an empty shack. He gestured her in. Where's the base? She asked, confused. I thought we could talk a bit first.
Oh, you think I'm playing you? She was furious. I'm betraying my father who picked me out of an alley, and you think I'm playing you?
She lashed out. Her claws sliced fire into his face.
That's
Energy
a
boiled in her other paw. But before she could kill him, he slashed his sword into her heart. She staggered. I could have loved you, you son of a bitch. And then she died. Renato stood there for hours, unable to move. Finally, a ship landed near him. Lapino had brought the Farfarer. On board the Farfarer, Lapino couldn't stop grinning. I can't believe you actually killed her. Why didn't I trust her? Renato said. All he could feel was emptiness.
You killed the Emperor's daughter.
You might want to run for it, if you care whether you live or die, that is. Since Renato didn't, he grabbed the wheel, and he sailed for the Imperial fleet.
Vámpírfegyverek úgy érted, hogy elszívja az életet? Hát itt nem szólna bele. Használni is kéne hozzá, hogy gyógyíts. Hát, jó.
Renato had never felt worse. Zenobia had listened to him. She had trusted him. She had opened her eyes to her father's evil. Done everything he had hoped for. And he had taken her to a dirty shack. Was he so used to lying that he couldn't trust even the girl he had always loved?
Nekem meg az Zenobia nem szép, hogy rohadjon meg. Az összes sztori számon tök béna. Itt nem volt.
It was time for a little exploration. He could see the rebels reeling back as he plunged into the ranks of the Ravens. He'd had to kill the girl he loved, but he'd also blown the biggest opportunity they could have had, to turn the Emperor's daughter against him. Oh, Renato could only laugh miserably. He was taking crazy chances now, swinging wildly. He expected the Ravens to take him at any moment, but they were running in fear. No one wants to fight a man who doesn't care if he lives. No one wants to fight a hero.
Check, please.
Unreal Treasures, kaptam egy achievement. Azt hiszem ezután Ratchet & Clank, ez nem kell, hogy ezt elvégzek. Doboz túl sok emlék. Kicsit olyan, mint a Mad Max-nek, meg a Batman-nek a harcrendszere. De annál is jobb.
He was exhausted, could barely think. He wanted to stop thinking. The rebels were already finished, and he was the last. The Ravens were coming for him personally now, in waves. It didn't matter. He was slick with his own blood, but it didn't matter. In the distance, he could see her, embraced by a halo of light, holding her hand out to him. Had she forgiven him? Would she take him to the halls of the Valiant? Then he felt steel in his belly, and his chest, and his back. And he lay down, and he couldn't see her anymore. And he hadn't learned anything new this time. He'd done the same thing twice, yet expected a different outcome.
Ez nem úgy jött össze, hogy akart. Biztos a Rebel Base-re kéne menni, hogy a nyúl sztoriát folyt.
There would be a way to win. Renato could feel it.
Ilyenkor
He'd
visszapörgeti az
have to
egészet az
explore
elejére.
choices he'd never made before he could figure it all out, though. And with that, the book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again. And he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Na jó van. Ezt majd később, mert éhen halok. Úgyhogy most megyek és halálra eszem ma. Ha lehetne választani chaptert, nem lenne olyan. Mármint hogy lehetne választani, hogy visszatekerni te magad? Hát, ja, jól meg van csinálva ez így egyébként. Na jó van, halálra eszem magam. Viszlát!